Hello everyone and welcome to Easy Electrical. So in today's class we will be dealing with the electrical machines part, and in the electrical machines we have covered closely 4 lectures. So this will be our fifth lecture, and before going into the details of our today's class, just to give you a brief idea, we are basically running one SSC JEE online course, and in that online course we cover concept based classes for technical, non-technical. Test series is also there, practice papers we have also included, and recording of the classes are also provided to each and every student free of cost, and notes are also provided. Other than that, we have also given now started giving out, that is our exam specific notes for different examinations. Okay, these exam specific notes are basically useful for those who are preparing for, suppose, say WBPSC or other state PSC level examinations, railways. Okay, so different specific question sets and answers, short notes are provided for the examinations. Other than that, we are also now in collaboration with our different colleges, and we are taking up the lab practicals. Okay, so the lab practicals, whatever we will be recording, will be sent to you via YouTube, and it will be free of cost. Now coming to today's class, we will be taking up our first topic, that is our electrical machines, and in electrical machines we will be now taking to our transformer part. Okay, so we have done with the DC machines part. Now we are coming into the transformer part. So the first question here it is, the two windings of a transformers are designated as. Basically, when we were starting in our starting phase, we basically termed it as primary and secondary. No, primary and secondary. But this term is a very relevant term, because now it is irrelevant. Why? Because by primary and by secondary we cannot actually differentiate between what is the sending end or what is the receiving end. So in that place we are basically now using HV and LV as the term. HV winding or LV winding we are basically using. Now coming to next question, the flux in the EMF equation of a transformer has. Basically, what is the EMF equation? Suppose E is the EMF that is we are obtaining, that is equals to 4.44 F phi m into T, where F is the frequency, phi m is the flux, and T is the number of turns. So in that case we can readily get the idea that the flux that is present, it is a of the maximum value. Now coming to next question, the no load current in a transformer lags the applied voltage by. Okay, so you all know that transformer, whenever we talk about a transformer, that is basically consisting of suppose similar construction you can observe. That means here you are connecting the, suppose, say HV winding, and here you are connecting, suppose, the LV winding. If suppose the HV, if suppose this LV. Now whenever you are providing a supply here, suppose you are providing a supply here, so if you do not connect any load here, then what will happen is some amount of current will flow because of this coil. Okay, so this coil or this no load, whatever the losses are getting supplied, it is basically has two components. There is one is a resistive component, another is the inductive component. So if it was a perfect inductor, then in that case we would have said that it is 90-degree lag. But as it is not a perfect inductor, so we have to assume that it will be slightly less than 90 degrees, that is about 75 degrees will be the correct answer. Okay, so the primary winding, whatever is there, is having both resistance and inductance part. So if you check our equivalent circuit, so in equivalent circuit you draw this diagram, this part, this parallel part. Okay, in parallel part you can see this parallel path basically represents this coal loss or this coal loss component. What I will do here is, our transformer classes will be uploaded soon, and I'll be giving you a link in this video description so that you can get that detailed idea about this part. Okay, I'll be giving you the link. No, don't worry. So just keep in mind that it has both resistance and inductance part, and it will be less than 90 degrees. Now coming to next question, the leakage flux of a transformer depends upon. Basically, whatever the leakage flux in a transformer that is there, that means What is the leakage flux? First of all, we need to know. Suppose if this is a coil I have wound here, when a current is getting supplied through this, there will be flux created in this coil, and this flux will have two parts. One that will go through this core and link the other coil, whichever is there in the other part. Here suppose I have connected the second coil, right? So one part of the flux will link the other coil, but some part will be there that will not be linking the other coil. This is basically what we call it as a leakage flux. Now this leakage flux depends upon what? Whatever the load you have connected across this terminal. Depends on load, whatever the load is there, the flux will flow, the flux will be developed, or the flux will be increased. So based on that, the leakage flux will also increase. So the load current plays the major important role in deciding the transformer leakage flux. Okay. Now coming to the next question, the efficiency of a transformer at full load is 0.8 power factor lag, and the efficiency is 92%. The efficiency of full load at 0.8 power factor lead will be, basically the power factor lag or lead does not have an effect on the efficiency. Okay, if the power factor is remaining the same, the efficiency will also remain the same. Now coming to next question, distribution transformer has core losses. Core losses is basically less than of the copper losses, because in distribution transformer we need to operate the transformers for the 24 hours, right? So the 24 hours operations, for 24 hours operations we need the core losses or the fixed losses to be minimum, because throughout the day the loads will be different, so the core losses have to be minimized. Okay, so the core loss has the greatest importance here. One more point I'd like to add here is that in certain questions we will come to know later that when the core losses become equal to the copper losses, then we will have the maximum efficiency of the transformer, right? Now AD current loss in transformer depends upon, basically AD current loss, if you see, none of this will be the correct answer, because AD current loss depends basically on the square of the voltage. Okay, so this term you need to keep in mind that eddy current loss, suppose Fe, is proportional to V square. Okay, so this V square terms means the voltage square. So here none of the options are correct. Now coming to next question, the hysteresis loss on the transformer depends on both frequency and voltage. Okay, it is a frequency dependent parameter as well as the voltage dependent parameter. Now coming to the next question, the open circuit test is done to obtain, basically what we do here is, through the open circuit test we basically determine the core loss components. Whatever the core loss components are there, we need to we basically determine. But for certain cases, suppose during this time, if we want to calculate the core loss, other components are also getting calculated. That is the primary copper loss, primary winding copper loss. But this primary winding copper loss is never taken into account, as the current is very minimal and the copper loss component, that is I square R component, is also very small. So we do not take into account. Mainly the main purpose of the open circuit test here is to determine the core loss. Now the short circuit test is used to done ohmic losses at any load. Basically when we consider the short circuit test, that means here suppose we are having one transformer, and here suppose we are having one low voltage side. This is the high voltage side. Basically for the short circuit test we basically prefer the low voltage side. Why? Because small amount of the voltage in the high voltage side will readily allow the rated current to flow. So in that case the main functional criteria that we try to obtain here is only the ohmic losses. But do we say that here core loss is not calculated? No, here we the core losses we cannot calculate. Okay, for core losses we need to check into the values where for the open circuit test. So thank you everyone for staying up to this point. If you have any doubts regarding today's class, you can directly give a call in this number 8335067725, or you can directly mail us at this number electricalaz@gmail.com. Here you have a WhatsApp joining link. You can join this WhatsApp group. Okay, the group link will be shared in the description, and you can ask doubts there as well directly. Okay, so thank you everyone for staying up to this point, and thank you.